Hi everyone, it is currently the 12th of July 2014. Tropical Storm Rammasun is our newest named storm system out here in the 2014 Western Pacific typhoon season. This is the ninth named storm thus far this year. We haven't even gotten into the thick of it all until August and September, where classically you see the most named storm systems. So already a very active season. Given that it's an El Nino year, you would see more storms near Guam and Saipan. That also has been the case as it did push overhead last night, throughout Friday night into Saturday morning. Some tropical storm warnings were issued across parts of Guam, but the good news is that this one's moving out. Bad news, it's headed towards the west, and this is the latest warning from JMA. Expected to make landfall on Wednesday into Thursday, and JMA at this time expecting intensity in the storm system around 80, gusting up to 115 knots, pressure about 955 HPA. So they are not keeping this weak at all. Actually, rather surprised at how strong the intensity they went with it. Meanwhile, the Joint Typhoon Warning Center also going for a strong storm system, right around 90, gusting up to 110 knots with the max intensity just prior to landfall. So this is definitely something we're going to be watching over the course of the next several days. The good news, I am making this update here on Saturday. We have a lot of time to continue to keep an eye on it. There's your storm system back here towards the east, Philippines here. We have the subtropical ridge towards the north. So there is some good and bad news with this ridge. The good news is that we're pretty confident it's going to continue to track on that westward progression all the way out through Wednesday and Thursday. Also good news, we have plenty of time with that confidence to make preparations. I already seen Pagasa putting out advisories saying there is that threat of a storm system coming their way. Fair confidence that ridge isn't going to weaken. The only difference is that it may weaken slightly or gain strength slightly to allow a little bit of change in the track as far as where exactly it might impact the Philippines is concerned. Will it just skirt the northern coastline, head off there towards Taiwan, or could it go farther towards the south into the NCR area or across northern portions of Luzon? As you can see right here, I do think that number 2 is going to be the more plausible scenario, pushing just north of Manila, actually right between 2 and 3. That's where my idea is. JTWC is edging slowly farther south with their most recent bulletins as well. That's something to keep an eye on here. They're really starting to see that ridge build in a little bit more. So as far as the model outlooks are concerned, I mean, you really can't take those with a grain of salt as far as the exact intensity in the consensus in the ensemble, because you can see right here you have about 5 to 10 models really just split on exactly where that final resting place of this storm system is going to be across the eastern seaboard. So this is a lot of stuff we're going to be watching right now. What I can tell you as far as the max intensity is concerned, JTWC is going stronger and JMA than what most of the model outlooks are saying at this time. Now, what they're really depending on is out ahead of the storm system, we have very warm sea surface temperatures and low vertical wind shear. So that's going to allow a little bit of a intensification out of this, much higher than what the models would indicate. Another thing with the good news, though, is that JTWC is expecting landfall there around the Cagayan area in northeastern Luzon. This would actually be very beneficial. You would see some rainfall in these areas that have been seeing some drought, but this entire region across eastern Luzon, probably due to typhoons, is very rural. No one lives out here. So if a storm system did come on shore here, you very often see limited deaths or injuries coming out of this. Vice, if we're talking about farther towards the south, a storm system coming on, pushing directly across Manila, or well, forbid if it did come into Visayas, where Tacloban is, and you remember what happened last year since Haiyan, the last typhoon that made landfall out across this area. So let's take a look at some of our model outlooks with the ECMWF. This is by Tuesday and the Wednesday. You can see it is actually pulling a little bit farther south, and so has the latest runs from the GFS model, going farther south than what the tracks have been saying as well. So this is something, one reason why I'm leaning that this could push a little bit closer towards the Manila area, pushing onshore, coming right across here, but they also keep it much weaker, which would be good news, with the main threat being the heavy rainfall coming out of this. Take a look at the latest GFS model run. This is showing the 06 UTC for Tuesday afternoon into the evening hours. Also looking at a severe tropical storm to possible typhoon intensity. So this is definitely something we want to watch, not just out through the Philippines, but even extending into the long range, could impact those of you across southern portions of China as a rather strong typhoon if it does move into the South China Sea. So a lot going on with this. I hope you continue to tune back in with us here at westernpacificweather.com. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, post them down there in the comment box below, and we'll try to answer them. Stay safe out there, everybody.